Texans-Seahawks game preview, back from the bye, Monday Night Football, late night affair, 9 Central, 7 Pacific. Here we go, Johnny. The Houston Texans have never won at Seattle, but it's only been 2 trips prior, so I'm not going to make a big deal out of that. It's not like when you had to break that streak at Baltimore, but here you are playing in a very tough place to play. They've lost 2 games there this year, but close losses. This is a tough customer you're taking on right now. They have a lot going for themselves.
No doubt, and this place is difficult to play. The stadium is built that way. It is loud. The 12s are incredibly loud. They're smart football fans. They're going to make this really, really hard on C.J. Stroud and the offense to try and communicate. But it wasn't as loud as it possibly could have been back in 2017 because we landed that first haymaker. When Deshaun hit Will Fuller for the bomb, it was like, whoa. It kind of rocked them from their core a little bit. And I think that's what this game has got to be. Come out fast, score early, and kind of put everybody back on their heels a little bit. And if you do that, then some of that doubt creeps in. Under Mike Macdonald, the Seahawks are 4-8 in 12 home games.
How about that?
They're 4-8 in 12 home games.
Which is weird because they won 10 games last year, missed the playoffs, but won 10 games with Geno Smith. Now they have Darnold, and we know about the history of the Texans with Darnold. Darnold beat the Texans as a Viking, as a Panther. Texans beat him as a Jet back in the day, 2018, when he was a rookie. And the other thing about the Seahawks is you're looking at a team that is top 5 in scoring and top 6 in scoring defense. So, yeah, they can hold you down and they can put some points on the board as well. They have Jackson Smith and Jigba, etc. Let's get into 3 things to watch about this one, and I'm going to start there with JSN, Johnny. And I know you feel the same way. You have to somehow limit the explosives here. If they dink and dunk a bit, okay, they're going to get theirs, but you have to prevent the big play. He might make 1 or 2, but keep it down if at all possible.
Yeah, the Seahawks aren't great 3rd and 7 or longer. So where they've gotten explosive plays have been on first down. Where they've had successful drives, it's because on 1st and 2nd down they've done good things. But against the Jaguars, the offense is kind of sputtering, and then JSN just runs a kind of a 9 route that he bends to the post. And he just runs right by the Jaguars' newest corner, Greg Newsome II, and it's a touchdown because Sam Darnold's got a great pocket to throw from. JSN just beat Newsome badly, touchdown. The Texans have to take, obviously, those explosive plays away. I think the Texans, because of Derek Stingley Jr. and because of Kamari Lassiter, with the guy that is my sleeper, we'll get to that a little bit later, Kalen in the middle of the field, I think they've got an opportunity to do different things against Sam Darnold to make those deep shots not as appetizing. And, okay, maybe bait him into this, this deep shot looked good, but then all of a sudden here comes Kalen out of the middle of the field to make a play. So I think what they can do against JSN, it's going to be interesting how they go about it. How much man do they play against him? How much zone do they try and play? I think if they try and play zone, JSN's really, really good in getting to open areas. Cooper Kupp is extremely good getting to open areas in the zone. So I'll be curious how they match up when they go man, how they play it. Do they double one of them? How do they go about it? It's going to be really interesting with him and those receivers.
You better slow down the running game on your way to doing all of that. Kenneth Walker, good in terms of yards per carry average. Not a ton of yards on the season, but I know you feel the same way I do about this part. Offensively, Seahawks number 2 in the league against the run. They're good against the run, and I'm not saying abandon the run, but you better be ready with the short surgical passing game that CJ used against Baltimore, against the Tennessee Titans, just to shake it up a little bit. That makes the running easier, but let's loosen up this defense, moving the ball to different characters on offense.
Yeah, finding different ways to run, and I said that for a long time. Look, a run doesn't have to just be a toss to the running back or a handoff to a running back. It can be the short passing game. It can be the little snag routes in a zone pocket. It can be, shallows across the field. It can be little bootlegs with tight ends going out in the flat, those kind of things. I think, one key to watching all of that is Dalton Schultz. In Baltimore, Dalton Schultz was that guy, made himself available on a lot of 3rd down plays, found open areas in the zone the Ravens were trying to play. And, by the way, the Ravens and the Seahawks, because of Mike Macdonald, are kind of attached in a sense that there are going to be a lot of things schematically that the Ravens ran that the Seahawks will run. Now, because of the makeup of the teams right now, you'll see some different things from the Seahawks, obviously. But schematically, you'll see some of those same things. So I think finding different ways to run the ball. Those little option routes to Dalton Schultz, it's a throw, but it really is just a different way to run the football against what's going to be a really good run defense. That said, being able to just hammer for 2-3 yards on first down to get to 2nd and 8, 2nd and 7, just to keep the Seahawks guessing a little bit like, hey, 2nd and 7. All right, let's go nickel. Get everybody out there for nickel. Well, you run on 2nd and 7, pick up 5 yards, now it's 3rd and 2. Yeah. So if you can do some of those kind of things by using the run game and being just effective on first down, just don't end up in 1st and 20 after a holding or 1st and 15 after that. Just a little bit in the run game will go a long way in this one.
All right. Another thing you brought up on Texans All Access, knots.
Yes.
Non-offensive touchdowns. Go.
Do you not? You'd want to have a knot.
Right.
Do you need one to win this game?
I don't think so, but
I don't know if you need one, but it would be nice.
You need a takeaway in their end. You need a short field or two generated by a block kick or something, special teams turnover, some kind of takeaway with the Texans defense. Get that takeaway train rolling. Yeah, I'd love to have multiple, but if you can get at least one in their end, set up a short field to make life a little bit easier for your offense to score preferably a touchdown, preferably 7, not 3. I think that's going to go a long way toward winning this football game because I look at this 24-21, 27-24, they're going to score some points here. They're going to get theirs. If you hold them 17 or below, oh my gosh. Yeah. I know the Niners played a low-scoring game with them in that building, but they're used to going up there, and that was week 1 and all that. This is a different deal. This is an exotic location, if you will, football-wise for the Texans.
Yeah, both losses up there for the Seahawks were they were close ball games, and the Texans, the 3 losses have all been close ball games. So I think this is going to be exactly like you said. This is not going to be 44-10. It's not going to be 26-0. At least I would hope it is for the Texans and not against the Texans. I just don't think it's going to be that way.
I won't need the plane to get home.
Yeah, right. The one thing the Texans have started to do a little bit better that has kind of become commonplace for them under DeMeco Ryans is turning teams over.
Yeah.
And Jalen Petrie, 2 interceptions against the Ravens. But you're right. I don't know if they need a knot, but I do think they need a fumble recovery that ends up inside the 10-yard line against the Seahawks, or an interception that goes back to the 5, and it's a short little trek into the end zone after that for the offense. So I agree with you wholeheartedly. And the thing is, the Texans have done all of that this year. Petrie has an interception. Next play, Nico deep ball against the Jags. Jalen Noel, the night against the Buccaneers, is a 53-yard punt return that got the Texans into scoring range. For Nick Chubb. So there are those things they've already done this year. Now it'd be nice if the defensive players got in the end zone with one, but if not, get close enough, the offense doesn't have to work that hard.
All right, quickly. Mattress Firm sleepers of the game, presented by Mattress Firm, the official sleep partner of the Houston Texans. I've got big play Barnett, Derek Barnett. We saw him score 2 touchdowns last year. And they rotate the defensive ends. Yeah, I want to see Danielle Hunter and Will Anderson Jr. eat, but Barnett is part of that rotation. He's going to get a chance. And it is sleeper of the game, so you might not be expecting it, but when you least expect it with Barnett. I've got Derek.
I got Kalen Bullock. I just feel like he's prime for – he's had his hands on a couple of passes this year that could have turned into interceptions. And I think the way Seattle plays, I think Kalen's got an opportunity with that range in the middle of the field to make a play on a deep ball where Seattle's like, this is a play that's worked throughout this year for us. But Kalen makes sure with his range in the middle of the field that doesn't work. And all of a sudden that shakes up Seattle's offense like, whoa, we didn't anticipate that happening. How did they then have to scramble to adjust? And maybe the defense at that point has them. So looking forward to a great football game, and hopefully the Texans come home 3-3.
Monday night, 9 o'clock. Let's go Texans.